What's up? Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to update you on this journey that I've been on over the last almost 3 months. I've been on a journey for 9 weeks now. I hired a coach and man, I've learned so much. And so I gotta share it with you. I was like, I cannot wait to record this to just give people an update on where I've been, what I've been going through. This video is going to be packed with so much information. I'm going to be very, very, very transparent. I'm going to be showing you some pictures, some progress pics. And I don't normally show this much, but I feel like it's important and I feel like it's going to help you. It's going to help me. It's going to help keep me accountable, as well as give me something to look back at in the future so that I can see how far I've come. But if you don't know me, I'm Nay, and this is my fitness channel, Fast Forward Gains. If you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you are not new and you're returning, I appreciate your support. Please go ahead and hit like on this video so that YouTube will continue to push out my content. So like I said, I've been working with a coach for the past 3 months, an amazing coach, and I've learned so much with her. I've had some great change in my body, and I'm going to show you some pics of the changes that I'm talking about. But one thing I noticed while working with my coach, in the first 4 weeks, the scale barely moved. Yeah, it barely moved. And I was like, man, this is crazy because I was doing everything by the book. If you don't know, just to give a little bit of background information, I am an ASM certified personal trainer. So I have all of the information on doing things the right way to reach fitness goals. And I hired or began to work with a coach because I wanted to not only have the book smarts of it, but I also wanted to work with someone to see if I was doing anything wrong. Because if you don't know, I have been working out for years. I have been doing the counting the calories and the macros and all of that for years. I've eaten clean for like 2 weeks straight. No cheating at all. Friday and Saturday, when I stepped on the scale, I was 2 pounds up. It seems no matter how hard I work out, and no matter how much I diet, the pounds just, they don't seem to fall off. So I was like, it's time for that. I work with a coach to make sure maybe I am doing something wrong. Maybe I'm missing. So I was like, let me get a coach because I want to see if I'm really checking all the boxes. And guess what I found out while working with my coach? Fasting is the game changer. And that's just the truth. Fasting is the game changer for me. What I will say is this. For those that are like me, that really have done it by the book, that really have done all of the different, even diets, and you will see a little bit of progress and then nothing, or you would be, let me tell you what I've been doing first. I've been in the gym. I've actually been working out a little less because coach had me enter rest days, which I'm so glad because I wasn't resting, and you really do need to rest. Your muscles need it. When you rest, like your muscles have a chance to repair and things like that. And if you're just constantly going and you're never giving your body a rest, it's easy to overtrain. I was already working out 5 days a week, but whereas I was working out Monday through Friday, resting on the weekends, it's more so I work out on the weekends now. And I'm resting more throughout the week, which has been great. Moving a lot more than I ever have. So not only am I working out, busting it out in the gym, whereas I would do 30 minutes of cardio or like elliptical or whatever. And I was running crazy in 2024. Okay, so I was working out for 30 minutes and then, I was doing cardio for 30 minutes and then I would go and I would do strength training for 30 minutes. Well, that's changed. Now I'm on the treadmill on an incline. I'm not running. I'm at like 2.5 max speed, but my incline is crazy. I'm like up to like about a 13. I have gotten up to a 13 on the incline on the treadmill. So it's real cool, but because it's on an incline, you feeling it, like the body is heating up. But my strength training is like, some days it's over an hour, just a little, but some days it's right at an hour. And on top of that, the goal is 10,000 steps every single day. I was hitting that a lot in the first few weeks, and I have been hitting it, but not as consistently as I was early on. More active than I've ever been. So let's start here. Maintenance calories for someone as active as I am, my height, my size, all of that. Maintenance for me is around 2,400. 22 on the low end, 2,400 calories a day. My coach had me at about 1,550 a day. So that's a pretty drastic deficit, right? Still good. Still I was never really hungry. So it was good. It worked out for me. But with a deficit being that drastic, my weight loss should have been about 1.5 to 1.7 pounds per week. That's what it should have been. By the book, doing things. In the way I did my food, I weighed it out. I made sure I counted every single thing that I put in my mouth. Okay? And I'm going to show you. First 4 weeks, I did everything the way coach wanted me to do. I had some slip ups here and there. And I saw great progress inches wise. And let me show you my inches. Okay. So first 4 weeks working with my coach, and let's go through the measurements. I'll take them one at a time. Starting with the navel, I measured first at 39 inches, and in 4 weeks, I went down to 37. And then in my hips, I went from 45.5 down to 44, an inch and a half, both areas. In the thigh, I went from 28 to 27.5, so I lost half an inch. Arm, 0. Let's see. And then my chest, I lost an inch. I went from 41 to 40. And now I want to show you what I looked like a week after starting the challenge, because the picture that I took is not my actual before. It's the week after I started. And then I'm going to show you what I looked like in 4 weeks, it's great. It's great changes. It was just really slow for me. Okay. So this is where I was week 1 after completing week 1. All right. And then 4 weeks after, there's some, like you can see, especially here in the belly. I wish I could make this image bigger, but so basically this is start 4 weeks in. There's clear change. Although I had only lost a little over a pound, there's definite change, right? Definitely body is recomping. Then I said to myself, we're doing a lot of work. And this is really slow, Also, I want to say this. I was doing all of the calories, the 1,550 calories a day. And then I would have my slip ups where it's like, man, I want a nut and bundt cake, or I want something. And it wasn't every day, especially around my cycle my cycle week. There was, for me, the sticking to just 1,500 every day. That's easy to blow. That's really easy to blow, and it doesn't allow space to just have fun, just have a slice of cake. So after week 4, I said, okay, I'm going to do what I know works. I'm going to throw back in a fasting day. Then I was like, okay, if I throw in a fasting day, I still need to make sure I hit my macros. I still need to make sure I'm hitting my calories, because I want to stress this point. Fasting is not about starving. Fasting is used as a tool to figure out how to eat and be satisfied and still have the cravings and satisfy those cravings while still reaching your goals. So I was like, okay, I can throw in a fasting day, right? Well, if I throw in a fasting day on an eating day, instead of having 1,500, 500 calories, I can have over 3,000 calories, right? So if I can have over 3,000 calories, guess what? I can throw in a nut and bundt cake that is only 333 calories. Why do I know this? Because I document everything I put in my mouth. And that's just the truth. And so I'm like, okay, I want to make this easier on myself. I would rather be able to throw in a fasting day and then eat high on another day. And so that's just what I did. So I started doing that after week 4. And let me say this, when I initially started with my coach, when I did my initial call with her, my weight was one thing. And then I had my birthday came, and I'm lactose intolerant. So if I have dairy, it's just going to do crazy things. It's going to make me look pregnant and things like that. And so I had dairy. I was like, let's get this out of the way, because I knew I was about to do 90 days strict. So I was like, I'm just have my dairy now. Right. So I did that. So when I did the dairy, by the time it was time for me to start, I was 4 pounds up. I'm not really counting that because I know that's not really where I was. So I said, let's just say in the first week, I lost about a little over a pound. And then when I threw back in my fasting, I'm going to show you what I look like in the beginning and then what I look like once I started implementing water fasting 9 weeks out. All right, so here is before, 9 weeks out. Before, 9 weeks out. So you can see, well, these shorts aren't as short, but my thighs are tighter. But of course, I'm working out. My shoulders are, let me see, can I make this bigger? My shoulders are just, they're starting to look more defined. Belly is a lot flatter. All right, and then I'm going to show you from the side. So this is what we started with. This is where we are. You can even see in my arm, if I can make this bigger, you can see where my arm is starting to even like get a little shape. You can see the muscle under there. It's starting because it's not that the muscle's not there, but I gotta get rid of all of this fat so that you can see it. I have my mama's arms. I hate that, but so big change in the belly, of course. There you can see that huge change. It's a lot flatter. And then I love the behind pictures, the back pictures. It shows a lot of progress. All right, so the behind picture is pretty bananas. Especially in this area here. Let me see if I can make that bigger. Like, especially in this area, it's like a huge, huge difference. Okay, so here are my inches after the fasting. So whereas at week 4, in the belly area where I lost 1.5 inches, I lost another inch. In the hips, I lost 0.5 inch. In the thighs, I lost another 0.5 inch. But if you also look at week 7, you can see that I went up 1 inch. Well, because I'm not only losing fat, I'm also building muscle. So there will be numbers that are fluctuating because I'm doing both at the same time. Whereas I started with my thigh at 28, I'm now down to 27. If I go to the arm, we can see here in week 4, I hadn't lost anything. And then now we are down 0.5 inch on the arm, which is, I feel like is my biggest problem area. In the chest area, I'm down by another 1/2 inch. So once I started fasting, of course, the scale started dropping. So whereas I had only lost 2 pounds, well, not 2, but close to 2, I then went from losing almost 2 pounds down to losing almost 7 pounds. And so if you ask me, fasting is always going to win. And that's with doing everything, literally. I could choose not to fast and just have my calories every day, but there's no freedom in that. I would rather fast one day and then be able to eat really good the next day. I can have my healthy foods because I actually enjoy eating healthy. I'm not really one for the fried foods and all of that. Don't get me wrong. There are times where I do want to go out and have some Popeye's chicken, but that's very rare. Like when I say very rare, maybe twice a year. It's very rare. Very rare. I would much rather have food that is cooked at home. And that's just the truth of the matter. But if I'm going to have to choose between having to only have this amount of options versus this amount of options because I'm choosing to fast, I would rather fast and be able to eat a whole lot of food on the days that I eat. And you got to remember, because let me say that. I want to show you my calories on the days that I chose to fast. Let me see where I had my lowest drop. See here? I did my fast here in this week. I threw in one fast. That was week 4. So you can see here, this week where I threw in a fast, my calories are 42, right? The next week, I threw in one fast. This day, calories is over 3,000. Total calories for the week. So it's not that I'm not eating. Like you can fast and still have the food you're supposed to eat and still lose the weight. I could choose to go lower. My only thing is I don't want to go lower because I've been lower and still lost nothing. So I got to make sure I find the sweet spot where I'm fasting, I'm eating, but I'm still dropping. I'm still transforming my body. That's where I am. That's what I'm doing. And prayerfully, like this can help you somehow. I love all things fitness, although it's calories in versus calories out. At the same time, it's a little more complex than that. So prayerfully, this video helped you. If it did, would you go ahead and leave a like on this video and tell me if you got anything from it. And I will see you in the next upload. All right. You have a good day. Jesus loves you. Bye.